let yourself in. Make good on a promise, never hurt again. If you're lost and loaded, you're broken down, bring all of your trouble, come lay 'em down. All you sinners and the weak at heart, all you helpless on the boulevard, wherever you are now, whatever evil you found, bring all of your trouble, come lay 'em down.
I have a gift that God gave me that some people will listen to. As crazy as I look.
He is a complex man, and he is probably the greatest mixture of saint and sinner you'll ever find. He cares deeply for the poor, and yet at the same time I think has done much of his work out of his own poverty of spirit.
I grew up actually in Kansas City. Went to a Catholic boys' school, then went in the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps was just an adventure, a big party, 3 years of partying. And my whole life was pretty much a party. You know, I was a guy that had owned an elevator company, a lot of restaurants, and just had a lot of life experiences. I was a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, everything from speed to heroin. And I really didn't know what I was doing. You know, you don't know how much damage you can do until years later you look back and you see. You know, once you learn how to see, then you can see what you did. Most people like me say they don't want me around. I went for a routine checkup and they said my heart was totally trashed and they had to do a quadruple no, they said they had to do a triple bypass. When they went in, they changed it to a quadruple bypass. I got cancer and kind of got put on notice that it ain't going to go on forever, and that if you want to do some mending of fences, you better get your ass in gear. So anyway, I thought my days were numbered, so I started buying equipment. Had a big flatbed truck, and I put my welding machine on and my oxygen bottles and my toolboxes and loaded up my truck with my dog Jake. I'm going to Central America to help the poor. I didn't speak a word of Spanish. I mean, it was just crazy. Came to Guatemala, drove through Mexico and had to bribe everybody getting in. And
32 days after his bypass surgery, he was in the vehicle coming to Central America. And there he met Susie. Did not speak any Spanish, still does not speak much Spanish, a word or two.
I chased her, and I let everybody know that she was, and she just blew me off. I mean, really blew me off.
He proposed to Susie on a Franklin handheld translator. You know, I love you. Will you marry me?
And that's how we got together, and we've been together ever since. And except for when I'm in the United States, I don't think we've been apart. She's just a hell of a woman. You know, I don't know how to say that. You know, I feel like she loves me. I don't show her that I love her as much as I should. I'm not a warm and fuzzy guy. I wish I was. Sometimes I'm sorry I got her into all this. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. That's for sure. And then I get a call from Kansas City that El Salvador had an earthquake. So, and they wanted me to come over here and build houses. That was in 2001. And I did, and that's how we got here. We went to the government. What we wanted was a community of poor people, not people that had a crack in their wall. Or we wanted to build from scratch, and we wanted to deal with people that really needed help. So they found a community of people that had been moved around like 3 or 4 times, literally displaced people. And at the time they had 150 families. And so the government offered us a piece of ground that was a junkyard. And we just fell in love with it. Out there was on the other side of this community, from that one all the way down there, was a giant hole. And it took thousands of truckloads of construction debris and a D9 cat to grade it. Once it'd fill up, and then we'd grade it and it'd fill up. We built a school, we built a community center, basketball courts, there's a soccer field there. It's just quite an accomplishment for where it is. It's in a community called Soyapango, which is one of the most violent places in the world, truly is. And the murder rate is extremely high, much higher than in Mexico. I mean, you know, to give you some perspective. When I say poverty is a prison sentence, it really is. And unless you can change their minds and hearts, it will remain so. There's one thing we can do that will change all this, and that's educate kids in all respects. That will solve the problem. Show them where there are opportunities. Something that generates income, that if they apply themselves will be successful at some level. Not everybody will be millionaires, but they will be successful at some level. And the support they get from donors like the United States, properly applied, can lead to desired outcomes.
Anyone can build a cluster of concrete structures. The real work is building community within those structures.
All you can ever do for people is provide them with the information to change. And you can point out examples where change has been successful, that you have outcomes that were different than you're used to. And we sit all the time and laugh about how, we don't know how we got it done. And there's so much work left to do, don't get me wrong. We need talented volunteers in every area. Every area. For a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, it doesn't really matter. If nothing else, they come down here, identify our problems, and they go broadcast it in the United States, and we have the potential to get some help. Hopefully, at the end of the day, I will figure out some of the riddles of poverty, why poor people usually stay poor. There she is. Hello. You can tell them all the Dale Carnegie stories you want, they still stay poor. It's hard for a person that's never been poor to start acting poor. And it's impossible for a poor people to start acting rich. There's a psychology involved in the whole thing that isn't really being discussed. When you come in that gate, the first thing, before you probably did anything, was find out if you can convince some people that they don't have to live like they've been living. That there's things you can do to change that. And if you don't do that, you probably won't be very successful. And the facts are that most people aren't. And that gives politicians in the United States great ammunition to say, you're just wasting your money. Haiti, you're just wasting your money. We've been giving to those people forever. And you are wasting your money if you do not introduce things other than what we normally know about and teach people the cycle of poverty, that you can get out of it, but you have to do certain things. We can't donate you out. As you go through life, where are places I wouldn't mind being buried? And this is one of the places I wouldn't mind being buried in.
He is terribly cynical, and yet when you look around at all the work that he's done, that cynicism is defied by his optimism and by his hope. Because you cannot do this kind of work and do it for over a decade as he has done it, and have built 400 homes across Central America and seen thousands of people housed without a sense of enduring hope for a better world. And he told me once that if he had a motto for his life and his work, it would be, "I did it all wrong." But in the end, it's proof that if your heart is right, you can do it all wrong and still have the right results.
If I even remotely thought I was done, then I would be excited about my blood pressure. But right now, me dying is just a big pain in everybody's butt. You know, kind of an inconvenience. But I still think I have some things to do. And so I really would resent checking out at this time. It's this one. She doesn't do anything she's told to do. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. My life's full here. I can't make up for what I did to my kids, but I can have new relationships with the kids here and do a little bit better job. And nothing captures me like the smile of a child. Nothing.
He's a dreamer, but he is a very good man. He is a very honest person, and he has a good heart. Very good heart.
Fully smoke, confusion, illusions I've seen. Where did I go wrong?
God made this thing happen. I mean, I was with it every step of the way. They're happy. They're very, very happy.
I like what he do. I love his work. I love play with the kids. And he's crazy, really, but he's a good dad. He's a very good man, a good father, a good husband. He's wonderful.
They constantly amaze me. They're just full of love. I'm just so proud of them. I mean, I don't even know. They're so wonderful, I don't know how to say it, because I certainly didn't deserve it.
Farther along, understand why. So
I have a deep, deep affection for him. I do love him. I love the work that he's done. And what I want Michael to know is, even though he arrived late, that his reward will be as if he had labored his entire life. That's what I would want him to have the grace and the peace to know.
Come on down, show up, and figure out what you can do to help people. You can't do it from home. You just can't do it from home.